straight down, and when you come into a sumo squat, you're letting all your weight hang so your feet come forward. Always look down and make sure your knee is tracking over the ankle. Does anybody here have a yoga certification? Okay, cool. If you're not yoga certified, just tell me if you don't understand some of the language I use. But this is, so walk your feet forward, Heather, because your knees have to, yeah. Cool, and then 45 degrees with the toes. So not like this, not like this. It's kind of like pointing. Is that right? John? That's great. Yeah, so it allows us to shift back and forth. You'll notice if they're like this, it feels a little funny on the knees, if they're forward. So just kind of play around until you find that sweet spot. Let all your weight hang, sitting in a chair, straight down, and then we're shifting back and forth. We can bring our feet nice and wide so then when we shift, we don't have that angle, but there's no weight in our legs because we're holding all of our weight underneath our arms. So pull straight down, engage your lats. Good. So even though our upper body is engaged, there's no weight in our legs. Okay? We're pulling down that much. Really good. So shifting back and forth. Do the little hip twist. Yes, really good. Hip twist. So this little twisting and undulating in the hips is really going to start to loosen up all that tension along the iliac crest that people have. So if we just shift back and forth with our legs, we don't get that. So just notice the difference. Notice if we just shift back and forth, and then notice if we start to twist. Twist. Good. That's what we want to get into. Really good. Okay, cool. So then we're going to press back, straight back, and then let's shift to your right. Good. Straight back. So we're doing semicircles now. Shift. So trace the shape of the mat. So semicircle lunge, side, and just play in the space. We're going to have lots of time to just explore and really feel into what is the capability and the capacity of the swing. And then this is where we left off with the socks. So we're going to shift to your right, come all the way forward, push all the way around, have your toes pointing forward now, good, and then shift to the other side. Nice. So full circle. When we come to the front position where you're like peppermint patty, it's called, and then shift back again. And just do that a few times. Just notice, go back and forth, and just notice the swing and how it holds you. Really good. Just have some fun with it. Ooh. Very nice. Awesome. So next time you shift back, we're going to walk our feet together, release the leg loops. Equal length the arms, just have them flying open. Rest your head back, let your heart look up towards the sky. Now bend your elbows and flash your hands behind your head, just over your neck. So this is called Weeping Willow. So nice straight legs, feet together, and then it's as if you're bringing your elbow to your hip. It's not actually going to come close to touching, but that's the direction we're moving in. So we keep our lower body really strong and engaged. That allows there to be that freedom and that air element in the upper body. I'm so glad I cleared the Pilates thing. I guess we could move it too. I was like, hey, perfect. Yeah, it's all good. Awesome. So now let's tee the arms and sit straight down. So we always have that engagement, right, and through the shoulders. Bend your knees and press forward. Nice, all the way. Thumbs turn up. Let the chest lead. Awesome. And then bend the knees. Exhale, come back. Swing the arms overhead. So we swim, right? So semicircular movement with the arms. Take a breath here. Next exhale, sit back down. Tee arms, bend the knees, and press forward. Nice. So the peppermint patty commercial was like, you get the sensation. He was skiing. So that's where I steal some of the names from. It's like cheesy 80s commercials. So now we come back into Weeping Willow. Have your arms clasped over your head. Just make sure the neck is comfortable. And just let it feel good. We're just warming up to get used to the swing. So we start with the squats and the lunges and the back bends to really just create a relationship to the swing. Really good. So one more time. Exhaling, tee the arms. Sitting down, bend the knees, press forward onto your tippy toes. Make sure your back is happy. Engage your core so your back is happy. Awesome. And then sitting back down again, let's come to neutral. How does that feel so far?
Good.
Good. Yeah, so we always want to keep weight in the swing so we don't ever do this. Right? So always keep the knees bent and let the weight, like a pendulum, we swing back and forth. So we learn how to trust the swing and keep that constant relationship. Okay, cool. So one more back bend here. Arms overhead or clasped behind your neck. This is called chillaxin arms. So if your neck ever feels tired, we don't want to strain any part of the body. So we just support. So the idea is we want to do more supportive back bends, more supportive inversions by using the swing. So anything we can do in yoga, we can do even better because we have that level of support. So sometimes people can't be in a 10-minute handstand, right? Just sometimes it's not your day for that. So you have the swing to help you. So that's what we want to do. So now we're just going to play a little bit more. So this isn't necessarily part of the official teacher training, but I want you guys to just explore and play a little bit in the space. So we're going to allow ourselves to come forward and back and just take a few minutes to create some spin, some exploration, come all the way to the sides, play with one foot and then the other. Don't worry about kicking over the iPad, but it'd be great if it doesn't happen. And these will flop and give you a little whack, unless you want to hold on to them. If you want to hold on to them, then you can kind of play with the leg loops as well. But just explore in the space, and you'll actually be able to come and do a full spin if you want to. So you can come all the way around and just kind of play with that. Yeah, and get the little, what I call the the angular momentum. Right? So I usually do straight legs around the point, and you can try bending the knees and switching out to one side or the other. Really just give yourself permission to play. Really good. Beautiful. And then you can get really crazy with it and kind of wag up through really big spins if you want, but honestly, that's just, that's just for fun. It's not in the training. That's just always new. So this is the try that at home kids. Instead of don't try that at home. Okay, great. So that's really phase one. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Does that, so when you're like doing a warm-up, do you start off, when you're doing a warm-up yourself, do you warm up on phase one usually?
Exactly as you saw it is my practice.
Okay.
The entire teacher training is what I do.
Yeah.
And I broke it down to little bite-sized pieces so I could actually explain to other people. Everything I do in the swing, I'm going to give you exactly like my level. So it's like yoga where every single person at the beginner level does a down dog. That down dog looks really different after 10 years, but it's actually the same down dog that a master does that a beginner does, right? So we want to master these basics. That's really, really important. So everything I'm giving you today is a full hour class. You guys will be able to teach an aerial yoga class, like with that safety in mind, that fun in mind, and that confidence in mind, that the person's going to get a really good experience. So that's what I'm interested in when I break up these yoga translations into 4 different series. Okay, so we'll do 4 series each day. Okay, 1 through 4 is on the sheet today. Okay, so we're going to keep, any other questions? So we're going to keep going with lunges, okay? There's so many infinite possibilities that we can do, right? But we're going to just keep going with the lunges. This is the side step lunge. Both legs are straight in front of you. You're going to bend your left knee, step it over, and twist. So go onto the outer edge of the right foot, and then let the hips sink. So everyone's going towards the garage doors. We'll just go garage doors or mirrors. It's okay. So right angle. So step right angle. Good. So pull your foot back towards your body a little bit more, Heather.
This one? Which one? This one?
Yep. Cool. And then just twist. Good. Just play in the space again. That's why I like to call it aerial yoga play. There's lots of room to explore instead of this, am I doing it right kind of style. It's like, oh, how does that feel? How far can I go? What happens if I drop my hips more? Let me do a little back bend. All those little engagements make a really big difference with the swing. Beautiful. Come back through center, bend your right knee, step over, twist. Awesome. So what I was saying is your foot wants to be kind of in alignment with your hip. So that's great. Yeah, instead of your knee. And then roll onto the outer edge of the foot, flex that foot back. There you go. There are a lot of details. We'll go over this a bunch of times and it'll seem easy. So side step twist, okay? Come back through center, neutralize the spine, just release into a back bend. Just take a few breaths here. Ooh la la. I make these like little bubbies in these little shirts just in case it feels irritating under the arms. You can just wear like a little t-shirt or something. So if you have a little bit of fabric, like clothing, then that's usually better over time. It starts to bother you, Heather. Just kind of keeping that in mind. So both feet forward, bend your right knee, step it back, come into a front lunge, right? So we can keep our knee down at first. What we're going to do is we're going to pulse. So we're going to come up, inhale up, and press the arms down. Yes. And then exhale, relax into it. Good. Inhale, press. Exhale, relax. Really engage the arms. Good. And down. Just doing 5 of those. And then we pause, we press back. Switch legs. So we always press back to switch. Just makes it a little bit smoother. Left foot back. Keep the knee down at first. Get comfortable. Look. Make sure your ankle and your knee are in a one straight line. And then inhale up. Exhale down. So we can create that strength and that kind of Pilates-like movement in some of the poses. The same with the TRX. Good. Use your breath. Or we can just be hanging out. You know, it just depends on the crowd and who we're working with, but that's really great. Good job. Okay, exhale, press back. Now we're going to do some side steps. We're going to do some side twist lunges, so we're going to come wide again. We're going to bend right knee in, drop, knee down. Use your arms to help you twist. So just press against the leg loops to twist. If you want, you can bring your leg loops down one. Since it's a brand new swing, they're not super stretchy yet. So yeah, you can adjust those down if you like. Good, now feel that dynamic tension that happens in the waist. So the leg loops are actually helping us go deeper into the twist, right? Nice, so keep pulling down, that's great, Heather, good. Awesome. And now we're gonna switch sides, just come through sumo squat. Yeah, there you go, there. Yeah, so your arms were like, oh no, hanging out. Okay, cool. So deepen the twist by pressing your arms into the leg loops, and then just let yourself buoyantly come back through center, right? If you don't even try, this is where you're gonna wind up, right? And then we use a little bit of engagement, get through the core, through the center to deepen the twist. Cool. So it doesn't matter whether we come into the full lunge and lift the back knee, or we keep the knee down. It really doesn't matter. If we're in a more advanced class, people might want to lift the back leg, but really what we're focusing on here is the hang and the twist. Nice. Good. Really good. And then back through center. Awesome. So there's about a gazillion different versions of that we can do. We can do another like side warrior here. So your weight is completely underneath your feet now. So I'm not just thinking back, right? So we can come into the warriors here. We can actually start to release the back hand down your left and come into reverse warrior. You can come into triangle pose, reach up. We can do all the yoga translations that you could possibly imagine with the swing, okay? See how my head's in front, and then I'm just kind of hanging here.
You receive resistance too, which is nice.
Oh, it feels so good. Well, it helps you cut your hip back and keep a nice flat side body, where most people usually drop around there. So I'm not going to go into all the yoga translations, although they're interesting. Everybody can kind of play at home and figure that out. I want to give you like the basics, and then I do encourage you to be like, oh, what would Warrior 3 look like? You know, how am I going to come into, you know, a side angle twist, that kind of thing. So take some time to play with that. We could spend all day just doing those type of basic Warrior translations. Let's just balance it out to the other side. Coming into Warrior 2. Find your alignment, look towards the mirrors. Right, just notice the difference because we have that resistance. And then if we want to reverse the warrior, we would just drop right arm back,